Hey, Terry here. I'm back with part 3 of homemade percussion caps. Now, first of all, let me say that it's very windy out here today, so I apologize right up front for the interference with the microphone. I really hate watching YouTube videos and all I can hear is and some guy in the background. I'm going to try and keep that from happening here. So, anyway, bear with me. So, I've finished making the caps in the last 2 episodes. I dried them out overnight, got them loaded onto my Pieta remake of the Colt 1851 Navy. This is a 44 caliber in Sheriff's model, short barrel, shorter. And let me show you what they look like here. And they're just aluminum percussion caps. So this is not loaded, and that is because I don't need to shoot the gun in order to test the caps. I'm going to put earplugs in though. Might take them out, depends on how loud it is, but I could tell by how vigorously they set off, they snap off, how well they're going to work. We will get around to shooting some live fire, but not in these initial few tests, okay? So, I'm going to start out with 12 rounds of single layered percussion caps. This was punched out of just that one layer of that soda can. I didn't double it up for 2. And in the part 2 video, made a little boo-boo. It's correction time. I said that double layered aluminum thickness was 0.04 centimeters, which is correct, and then I rounded that off to 0.15. Yeah, it's a little thick. It's actually 0.015, which for copper or brass, in my opinion, is still too thick, but this is aluminum. Now that gives you an idea of how flimsy that single layer of aluminum is, and that's what I've got loaded right now. So I'm going to test out the single layer empty, but I'm going to treat it as if it is. I'm going to shoot it in a safe direction, and let's try it out and see what we get. So. Six out of 6. Let's see how the other 6 do. But let me show you here. The caps, some of the caps stuck on the nipples. Now that's, you might say that's better than falling off, but two of them. And also, I want to point out, I don't know if you can see or not, this stain, this kind of a yellowishy red stain on the nipples and on the hammer here. I'm going to talk about that when I get in out of the wind. So, first test, single layered. The caps worked, but they did not split and fall off the nipples. Well, 4 out of 6 did too. I had to help a little bit. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, just something to know. Okay, I'll be back with the next 6. Okay, I'm back with the next 6 rounds of single layered percussion caps, and man, the wind is picking up. So, bear with me. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to do these without the earplugs. I just want to know how loud they are. If the first one's too loud, I'll put them in, but let's see. Yeah, it made my ear ring a little bit, this left ear. My age, ringing in the ears is not a good thing, so let's get our ears in. That's good though. I mean, it shows how good this primer is, and that's something that I would not be able to tell if the gun was loaded. All I want to hear right now are the caps. That's what I'm testing. We'll go to live fire. Okay, cap fell off. Not so loud. Okay, not so good, but okay. And okay. Again, 4 came off, 2 stayed on, but slipped right off. They didn't fall down in and jam it up. And maybe you can see that staining a little more clearly now. Yeah. So now I'm going to reload with the double layer and check them out. Okay, I'm back. Got my ears in, and this is 2 layers, double thickness aluminum caps, and that is 0.015 inches thick, as opposed to 0.00787 for the last or previous 12. So here we go. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3. 1. Okay, well again, 3 came off and 3 didn't. I recovered 2 of them. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but it split open. You can see that, but it didn't split apart. It was still on the nipple, and it just fell right off. So far, I have had 0 problems with cap jams. So let's load up the other 6 of double layered and try them out. Okay, I'm back with the final 6 double layered. Then we'll get inside out of the wind and we'll sum this up, okay? So numbers 7 through 12, double layered, 0.015 inch thick aluminum. Okay, well, again, it looks like it's pretty consistent. 2, maybe 3 stay on the cylinder, 3, maybe 4 drop off while I'm shooting. And the ones that drop off, well, actually both of them, ones that drop off and stay on, remain intact. They're not disintegrated into little pieces that can drop down into the action and jam it up. They're staying in big chunks that could maybe drop down in here between the hammer and the action, but they look to me like they're even too big to do that. When they shoot, they open up, they flare out. Unlike those copper commercial ones, when these fire, they open up, and that makes them bigger surface area, so they're less likely to get in something down in here and jam it up. But let's get out of the wind and talk about that. Okay, inside's kind of tied up right now, so staying out, but I'm up against the house, so I'm out of the direct wind. So, percussion caps. Again, I'm not sure, here I'll know better when I'm editing. If you can see that staining on it, it looks like rust. It's not, and I know from experience that it just cleans right off. It does contain salt though, so you want to be sure and use a hot soapy water, not a commercial gun cleaning kit to clean these up, which I use hot soap and water anyway, and I think pretty much all black powder shooters do. So that's not a problem. So we fired 24 rounds. We got 24 good hits, good ignitions, good bang for the buck. That's encouraging. I'm not going to say it really proves 2,400 would prove reliability, but 24 is a good start. I didn't see any real difference between single layered and double layered as far as not necessarily the performance of the caps, but the caps post bang, post ignition. As far as the caps splitting up into little pieces that could get jammed up down in the workings, falling off, staying on, staying together, they both performed the same. I really couldn't tell any difference. 2 to 3 stayed on, and they just dropped off as I was working the cylinder, and then 3 to 4 dropped off while I was shooting. What I like about them is when they fire, unlike a regular copper cap, commercial grade cap, that either comes off in one piece or split open and it's got jagged edges and stuff on it. These aluminum, they split, they flare out. So they go on like this, and then when they shoot, they flare. And that keeps them in bigger pieces, bigger size, So when it does come off the cylinder, it's not as likely to drop down between the hammer and the workings or to get down in between the cylinder and the frame. It's just not likely to happen. So, and it didn't happen. So I had 0 misfires, no weak fires. They were all good. And I know some of you are going to be thinking, yeah, but you didn't have a powder charge behind it. What happens when you get blowback through the nipple and recoil? Yeah, I'm gonna go back and try that. I've also got a lot of very good suggestions from viewers that are making their own caps about Duco cement as an extra hardener. And I know there are going to be some people thinking, okay, well, what happens when you make up 100 of these and put them in a little package and put them in your shirt pocket or your possibles bag and carry them, jostle and banging them around for a month? What are they going to look like then? We're going to go back and look at that too. Got a lot of testing to do. This is just getting warmed up. So my conclusion that I can draw from this test is there's no significant difference in performance of the cap itself between a single layered and a double layered using the soda beer can aluminum. So from now on, I'm just going to use the single layered. It doesn't seem like I'm gaining anything by doubling up on it. So stick around for the next video. I got a lot more testing to do, a lot more variations and suggestions to try out while we develop the perfect do-it-yourself / homemade black powder percussion cap. Thanks for watching. If you have subscribed, thank you. The channel's doing pretty well right now. I'm up to like 1,230 subscribers, 1,230 subscribers. That's really good, getting a lot of views. Yeah, it's turning out pretty well. So if you have subscribed, thank you. And if you haven't, why not? Come on. Ain't going to cost you nothing, and it's going to help me out. It's going to help me keep making these types of videos and keep going with this channel. So subscribe, notify, like, share, you know, the whole 9 yards. And see you next time.